Good evening and welcome to Delayed Game Simulator, where people don't sort their stuff out beforehand. And we've just currently waiting on a couple of drivers to rejoin the server. One after the game crashed after we restarted from the old the race, and another because they couldn't get in time. So yeah, just waiting here for these drivers to get back in, and then we will get our 4 races up and running for tonight. So this is of course the 4th round around the world famous Queensland Raceway circuit, where it was claimed the unfortunate life many years ago of Sean Edwards, RIP. And yeah, circuit not up to scratch and needs a major revamp and safety upgrades. So perfect candidate for these cars and for these drivers, where I'm sure we're going to see a fatality or two due to some overzealous driving. Alright, looks like both drivers are now back into the server. We're ticking straight over to the race. I'm not waiting around tonight because I should be helping my team qualify for the Bathurst 12 OSR Bathurst 12 hour on Sunday, but here I am broadcasting some Summer Series races around Queensland Raceway. Everybody's favourite Queensland Raceway. Be there. Alright, so as the series has ticked on, numbers have slowly dwindled down. Just going over some things, making sure it's all tip top here. And there it is, there's the grid. 17 drivers tonight around this absolute dump of a circuit, where plenty of hashtag rhodium is spread about the joint. And solo is still a thing. Alright, might as well run through the grid while we're here. And Tim Redmond will start from pole position, what a surprise. Christian Alvarez will start from second. Laszlo Eglas will start from third place ahead of Peter Thrower. Then we have Noah Tara in position number 5, with Termo in P6 ahead of Steve Bolger. Good to see him out there this evening. He's in one of the guest cars. He'll start ahead of Nathan Higginson in 8th place. Then we have Zach Brown in 9th. Matt Cecil in position number 10. Brian Walsh will start from position 11 ahead of teammate and rival Glenn Miles. And they're both ahead of Melody Smith in 13th position. Braxton Stancliffe in another one of the guest cars is in tonight. In the number 65, he'll start 14th. Of course, he didn't qualify, and neither did Rhodey. He'll start P15 ahead of Cracker, another latecomer. And Taipan, sorry, I'm not sure if Cracker was just a latecomer. We just didn't qualify, and Taipan as well. None of those guys setting a time, hence why they're at the back of the field. So, yeah, quick run down through the grid, and now we wait for these guys to form up with still a corner to go. And it's another track. I'm actually going to have to edit the grey textures for the gravel, so it actually looks like gravel trap instead of whatever the hell that is. But alright, drivers just going around the final turn now, starting to form up onto the grid. And this camera here, not sure if there is one here in real life, but Here we are. And the lights are on. And we're green. And look at that speed. Those cars are flying, barreling into turn 1 at magnificent velocity. And Tim Redmond will have the whole shot into turn 1. But Christian Alvarez will try to go around the outside. He can't quite get the move done. A little bit further back, looks like Melody Smith a little bit wide there. And we've got car off. That's Brian Walsh in the gravel trap. See you later, mate. And Rusty Stackcliffe having a look at Glenn Miles. Matt Cecil all over the back of Zach Brown. And here we'll see the first instances of slipstreaming. Something which I'm sure is going to be a big theme all night long here. As Higginson, a big dive into turn 3, and it's just whacked into the back of Peter Thrower. Thrower there is going to lose out to Noah Turra out of all that. Doesn't lose out too much more, but pretty bad mistake there from Higginson, and it's certainly cost Peter Thrower some time, if not possibly a position. But Thrower's then gone and made a mistake while defending that position corner later. So now he's got a bit of work to do as he drops behind Zach Brown, and Matt Cecil's there as well. They're going 3 wide coming into the final turn here. Things can only end badly, but they don't. Well, they sort of do. Zach Brown's just driven into the side of Steve Bolger and then had a little half spin there. It's all happening here in the midfield. But Tim Redmond in the lead, 8 tenths ahead, or was 8 tenths ahead of Alvarez, who's just been overtaken by his teammate Teglas, and well, it's definitely more than 8 tenths now. That is for certain. I wonder if they'll work together to try and get themselves closer to the back of Redmond here, or if they'll continue to battle. They do have to look in their mirrors for Noah Turra and Termo, who aren't far away, as Higginson makes a move, or defends at least, from Steve Bolger. And Bolger having a look here at the first of the left-handers around the circuit up the inside. And Higginson, a bit of net code and lag there, and away he goes. Drop a position to Thrower, so I guess there's some kind of karmic justice with that one. As Bolger now defends from Thrower, who was quite handy in the practice session. And he's going to try and go around the outside. We've got Higginson with his light on for God knows whatever reason. I don't know why. May have just knocked the button on his steering wheel. And at the front, Redmond's gap has been halved now, 4 tenths of a second to Laszlo Teglas, with his teammate Christian Alvarez right behind him. And then Noah Turra and Termo have been dragged along as well. So top 5 all starting to compress. And how much fighting will we see? Look like there's a car off in the background there. So we've got Cracker looking to get by Glenn Miles there to turn 3. Up the inside. And Miles is very wide. He's going to hold on to it, but he's going to lose out to Taipan. Cecil's also another one that could lose out to Braxton Stancliffe. And Nathan Higginson looks like he's dropped a bit of time the last couple corners as well, because he's only just ahead of them now. And, he's come back live. Braxton's going to try and make it 3 wide. Matt Cecil on the outside here. And a little bit of minor contact there. Bit of a minor contact again. And, well, Braxton's going to get that position out of all of that. And then he's run wide. And would expect Higginson to try and make a move here into the final corner. Redmond's actually driven away from Teglas, and Alvarez has actually dropped a bit of time. As Matt Cecil defending from Cracker, who's come storming through here in the last couple of corners, and Matt Cecil's just driven straight into the back of Cracker. So, a bit of sideways action in the way to turn 1 there. A bit rough on the steering wheel. He's Mr. Higginson. He's going to kill his momentum, and thank you very much, says Braxton Stancliffe. Sideways again at 2, and then he's just driven straight into the back of Braxton at 2. That's not very intelligent driving. And he's going to get that position, and doesn't look like he's going to redress that. So this kind of driving, like that steering, it looks like he's driving on a keyboard. And that, of course, did force Cracker wide. We did miss out on some action looking at that replay, but he has found himself now behind Cecil and Taipan. Braxton's actually lost out a few positions after that little kerfuffle. But that's what happened there. A little bit more contact with Cecil and Higginson. Braxton doing some lawn mowing there in the exit. And white line to white line for Higginson here. He's having a look up the inside Taipan. And so all these guys just start drifting it through the final corner. A little bit further ahead. We've got Bolger sort of out on his own. He's just falling away from Thrower, who's actually done a 32.4, which is a pretty handy lap time. He's got a bit of work to do to catch up to the cars in front, but he's slowly getting there. But he ideally needs Teglas and Alvarez to start putting some moves on Redmond and forcing him to go defensive, and that'll, of course, slow down that entire pack. So, got 2 packs here. Got the top 5. And then you've got Thrower and Bolger sort of out on their own. And then we've got this big pack here from Taipan all the way through to Melody Smith in 16th. He's a couple seconds back behind Cracker, but not too far away, as Rhodey now looks to make a move on Glenn Miles at turn 3. In the blank-eyed monster livery, or Rhodey's helmet, designed by 444 Designs. So we've got Matt Cecil and Braxton Stancliffe duking it out at turn 4. They're both sideways, as is Higginson, and Stancliffe may have got a little bit of a nudge there, but he was also a little bit out of control, so Cecil had nowhere to go, and then, oh dear, that is a terrible rejoin from Braxton Stancliffe. He's just driven straight onto the racing line. Not checked his mirrors or map at all, and Melody Smith's half rolled. So that's taken her out of that, dropped her further time away from this battle pack, as Higginson and Cecil now duke it out. We did just see another fastest lap, or a fastest lap this time for Peter Thrower, as Higginson drift into turn 1 there. Just chops the nose of Cecil. I wonder if Cecil had to get out of that a little bit. And both those guys struggling through turn 2. Zach Brown's had the best run out of all of them here, and he's going to look to make a move on Matt Cecil. He's also probably going to get a little bit of a tow, judging by the positioning of his car and Nathan Higginson's as well. So now it's all about who can break the latest, and that is Matt Cecil. Very deep, but now he's got to pull it up, as is Higginson. And Cecil's going to lose out here. Rhodey might be a winner here as well, as Cecil pushes him right to the inside of the track. He's in a little bit of a nudge on the exit of the corner. But Rhodey, who did start 15th, having a solid run here. Looking to pick up some extra positions. So Zach Brown and Higginson continue to battle, but of course we do have Rhodey, Cecil and Cracker now all in that battle pack. There's a little bit of lock under brakes for Higginson. Brown up the inside. And looks like Brown going to get that job done here. And Rhodey and Cracker side by side over the start-finish line. Rhodey will have the inside. Cracker will have the outside, and Rhodey's almost rolled it. He's come close a couple times. Barbagallo, I was told he didn't actually roll over. He just got it on two wheels, and unfortunately he's done it again. A lot of the curbs, the inside curbing around Queensland Raceway is quite high, as you can see. And, well, he's found out the hard way. Probably shouldn't be abusing those, especially at a high-speed corner in a car that has a fairly high centre of gravity. So unfortunately for Ferrari, that's taken him out of that battle pack, but if these guys continue on, he might be able to latch on to the back of it by the end of the race if he's lucky. Back towards the front though, and Teglas has dropped his teammate, who's actually been overtaken by Noah Tara for third. But Teglas now right behind Redmond. Probably doesn't have quite as good a pace as Redmond, but the slipstream's helped him. And at this stage, probably also just biding his time. You don't want to go too early and then be re-overtaken. And you probably also don't want to bring those cars behind into play either by making moves earlier than what you'd prefer as well. You don't want to give those guys time to catch up. So Tim does seem to be a little bit quicker through that first sector, and the slipstream kicks in for Teglas. Behind him, Noah Tara just ahead of Alvarez, Termo and Thrower. Thrower has caught the back of this battle pack. So that leaves just Bolger really out on his own. He's got a 5-second gap to the next car in front and behind. As Tara defensive into turn 3. Compromise him a little bit, gets a little bit of a nudge in the mid. And Alvarez gets that third position back. He's occupied for most of the race. He's gone defensive again here. Tara has the inside for 4. Alvarez was going to try, I reckon, the old switch, but Tara parked his car perfectly in a position where Alvarez could not seize the line with the car in the way. A couple laps to go for these drivers. 2 laps to go on their penultimate lap. Fastest lap of the race, Tim Redmond, 32.3. Good time to pull it out. He's stretched that gap out now to 0.8 of a second. All it takes is a little bit of a mistake, and Teglas is right there again. That's a little bit further back. Once again, Tara and Alvarez duking it out, and a bit of contact, a little bit with Thrower and Termo. So we'll just cut to a replay and just catch what has happened there. So Teglas tried to make a move on Tara at 2. Bit of contact, and then more contact, and then cars sideways. As we cut back live. And Thrower having a look at Alvarez, not quite close enough. Compromised him a little bit. It's brought Termo into play. And Bolger now not too far away from those guys, but probably a lap or two too short for him to affect the battle. That's Redmond edging away another 10th there in that first sector, and another 2 tenths in the middle sector. So dare I say the race is over for the race win, and it's all about the placings after that. A little bit further back, we did have that second pack, which Zach Brown was a part of. He's a little bit out on his own now. He's ahead of Cracker, and Higginson also sort of a little bit piecemeal now. And Glenn Miles done a good job. He's in P12 ahead of a recovering roadie. Matt Cecil's dropped back as we've got Smith and Braxton Stancliffe duking it out here. And another fastest lap, and Teglas actually dropped a lot of time in that final sector to Redmond. So race is over for the race win on this final lap as Smith and Stancliffe duke it out for who is not going to be last of the finishes. As Braxton goes defensive, and Melody Smith very early on the brakes, and then doesn't even try to do the old switch there. Cut a little bit further forward now. The battle for third place. Noah Tara defensive into 3. And he's a little bit wide in the mid corner, and that's allowed Alvarez to get back in. A little bit of contact has actually stun the momentum that Alvarez would have had there not been that contact. So Tara probably should be able to hold on from here, barring a mistake. Just needs to have a good run here out of this final left-hander and then not bowl wide. Under braking at the final corner, he'll get that job done. Alvarez be sweating just a little bit with Peter Thrower behind him. But Thrower just overcooks it a bit under brakes, and that's that done. Tim Redmond will slowly walk away with this one ahead of Laszlo Teglas. And then we'll have Noah Tara in third position ahead of Christian Alvarez and Peter Thrower. So good racing up at the front. Did see Termo just drop back a little bit in that one. And then we have turning Steve Bolger in P7. Expect him to be a little bit closer to those front guys in race number 2. And we have Taipan in 8th. Zach Brown in 9th. Good job from him. Cracker rounding out the top 10 ahead of Nathan Higginson. And then we have Glenn Miles, Rhodey, and Matt Cecil. Braxton Stancliffe will beat out Melody Smith. And that is race 1 done and dusted. Now, I'm just going to take a short break. I will actually close the stream. I'm just going to sort something out here on my PCN. But races 2 through to 4 will be on very shortly. Don't go anywhere.